Well, how are you? How are you today? uh, Anyways, I hope you're in a good mood. I mean, I'm sure you are. You're clearly studying how to factor. Can I get an amen? All right. It's true. I actually think we're going to enjoy this video for sure. But before we get started, I got a quick question for you. What's your bright spot? All right. My bright spot today, I think is a general bright spot is laughter. Just the human capacity, the sound of laughter. Was that saying, like, laughter sounds the same in every language? I think that's really poetic. So, yeah, laughter is my bright spot today. I hate being so indecisive. Actually, it's not that bad. Hey, you can't say I didn't try. I tried. I tried to make you laugh there. What do you give? An injured lemon? Lemonade. All right. I hear you. I hear you. Get to work, Mr. Miller. Get to work. We're here to factor. Let's go. All right. So today we're going to factor with the split the middle. That's what I call it, the split the middle technique. It's not the guess and check. So this is the method for people who don't want to guess and check, all right? And I'm also going to do it using the area model. So there's another video where I do the same exact basic technique, but we don't draw any pictures. All right. So here's the first problem. Now this is one where you don't really need the split the middle technique because the coefficient is 1, but I'm going to start here anyway because I think it's good to see first in a simpler example. All right, so we're going to factor. In the area model, what do I know? I'm going to switch to blue. What do I know for sure? That x squared is going to go there, and I know the 16 is there. That is cash followed by money. Now, these middle terms, I don't really know what they are. All I know is what they have to add up to. So I know when I add them, I'm going to get 10x. So then the question is, what are they? Like, how can I fill this in properly? And the split the middle technique says the secret is in this little puzzle. This little puzzle's got the secret. So here it is. Let me go over here. The secret is you find two numbers that multiply to a times c. So remember, invisible math, right? The invisible math says there's a 1 there. So 1 times 16 is 16. So you got to find two numbers that multiply to 16. But they add to 10. That's the puzzle. You got to solve that puzzle for this technique to work. Okay, so let's do it. I'm going to start with the multiplication. Because there's not infinite ways to multiply to 16 if you're confined to integers. So I'm going to go with 8 times 2 because I know 8 times 2 also is a solution for the second one. So that means that these two values are the values that go in here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 8. Now it's 8x. It's not 8, it's 8x. But it's all good. And now the 2x goes here. All right? So now with this technique, what you'd want to do now is use factoring by greatest common factor. So I just do the rows. You could do the columns, but I'm going to do the rows. So I'm going to factor between x squared and 8x. I'm taking out an x. Beautiful. Between 2x and 16, greatest common factor is just the plus 2. Almost done. Now these two values are going to be whatever they have to be at this point because this value times that value has got to be there. So this has to be x. This has to be 8. Therefore, our answer is x plus 2, x plus 8. All right, done without any guessing and checking. Now, let's show the real beauty of this method is when the a value is not 1. So let's get after that. 1 second. All right, well, let's keep going, okay? All right, so I've got what I'm going to factor. If I'm using the area method, split the middle area method, I'm going to draw my rectangle, put my quadrants in it, We're doing good so far, Mr. Miller. We're doing good. We like this video. You're doing good. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, first term here, we're going to put it there. Always there. The term's always in that quadrant. There's the -2's always in that quadrant. What the hell goes in these two quadrants? That's what we're trying to figure out. But I'm always going to take the time to outline them in orange, put what they equals, and then we're good. Okay. So this is our puzzle. But we don't want it to be a puzzle. This whole point of this method is that we're going to eliminate the guess and check element. So what I'm going to do is go over here and set up, I guess it's also kind of a puzzle, but I'm going to set up this other, I guess puzzle is kind of the right word, where I want two numbers that multiply and give me a times c, so -10. I don't like how close I am to my area method box. I'm going to put it on this side. So I want two numbers that multiply to -10. Mr. Miller, where did -10 come from? 2 times -5 or a times c if we're thinking standard form. All right, and now they got to add to the middle term, which is the -3. So here we go. Let's see what we got. Let's see, 10 is going to be, it's probably 5 times 2, right? 5 times 2. Now, one of them has to be negative in order to multiply to a negative. Because if the signs are the same, it's going to be positive. Negative times a negative, positive. Positive times a positive, positive. Positive times a negative, negative. So, or affirmative. Nah, never mind. So what we're going to do is one of these has to be negative. Because they have to add to a negative, that means it's got to be the bigger one. All right? So these are the two coefficients that are going to go into here. And it doesn't matter where you put them. I don't care where you put them. Just put them somewhere. I'm going to put this one here. -5x, 2x. And now you got to find the greatest common factor of either the row or the column. So I'm going to find the greatest common factor. For me, I just always do the row. So I'm going to do the row again. All right, a little bit of it. I see negatives. I'm curious if that's going to affect anything. I don't know. Let's think about it. All right. Well, here we go. I got 5 and 5. So I'm going to take out a 5 and I'm going to take out an x. Okay, so we got 5x there. We got 2 and -2. So let me take out a +2. All right. I think this is going to work out fine because if that's 5x, that's got to be x. And this, if this is negative and that's negative, right, this would have to be -1. Because 2 times -1 is 2. And therefore, we are now done. Gorgeous. See, I think that one actually was faster, with this method than the guess and check. I'm kind of an advocate of the guess and check. There are some years, don't tell my class, some years I only taught the guess and check. But the more I do this method, it is pretty good too. So I'm glad I'm making this video. All right, so this is the answer. Maybe I should put rectangle around it. All right, beautiful. You want to do one more? All right, let's do one more. All right, well, hey, how you doing? You ready for this third one? I think you are. Why don't you hit pause and see if you can beat me to the punch on this one. Pause. Unpause. Welcome back. Let's go get this thing. So if this is, if we're going to be factoring here, I'm going to get area method. I'm going to draw my rectangle. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to put this first term, the 3x squared, always going here. Put the 15 there. Kind of feeling like I need to tell another joke. It's like in the side of my head or somewhere. I'm like, tell another joke. Your bright spot was laughter. Tell another joke. Oh gosh, I feel like when I show up to work, first thing I do every morning is hide. Because I've been told that good employees are hard to find. All right, let's keep going. I think I was for the last like minute, I'm like, I need to tell a joke. It was like stuck in my head. It's like, tell a joke, tell a joke. All right. Oh, my boss said that, she finds it suspicious that I'm only sick on weekdays. Told her it must be my weekend immune system. Okay, so we know this has to add to negative 14x. Now, we can figure out exactly what goes in here by solving this puzzle. So I'm going to find two numbers that multiply to a, the coefficient of the square, times c, the constant, so 45, right? Two values that add to negative 14. All right, let's see what we got here. So I would just grab my calculator and start just thinking about ways to get to 45, like 45 divided by 8, 45 divided by 7, 45 divided by 6, whatever. I know 45 is 9 times 5, and I can see how they're going to get me to 14. So I'm going to go 9 and 5. I'm also going to remark that if I'm multiplying to a positive and I'm adding to a negative, that means they both have to be negative. That's the only way to make that happen. The signs have to be the same if you're going to multiply to a positive, and therefore if you're going to add to a negative, both those signs have to be negative. So they go here and here, and it doesn't matter where you put them. So I'm just going to put the 9x and the minus 5x there. All right, looking good. So I'm going to go factor. For me, I'm just always going to do the rows. So let's factor out a 3x, which is the greatest common factor. 3 times 1, 3 times negative 3, x times x, and times x. 5 and 15, the greatest common factor is 5, right, or negative 5. I could factor out a 5, but if I factor out a 5, that is going to be problematic because I know I need a negative number here, right, because it has to be a negative times a negative getting me to a positive. So I'm actually, in this case, I'm going to factor out a negative 5 because I know that if this number is positive, everything else doesn't work. So now if that's 3x, this has to be 1x. And if this is negative 5, this must be negative 3 because that gets you to 15. Also gets you to negative 9. So let's go 3x minus 5 times x minus 3. Do this thing in my classes where I take these pens, right, and I flip them up, I spin around, and I try to catch it. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. I go like this. I hope my hand was in that. I really, really hope it was high enough. I've never caught it in my entire life, and just now it literally hit my hand, and I just didn't have the reaction time. So, anyways, I hope there's a video of that. As always, you're beautiful. Thank you for being here. Stay hip and be kind to each other. And I believe in you. So just keep after it, all right? Take care.